Let's go. 2023 is here. Excited about it. You?
Sure.
Can't wait. I love this time of the year. Every major is a lot of fun. All right, we're going to jump right into this. Welcome back to another year of 5K tennis major tennis discussions. And as well as you all know, we always do a fantasy team competition and as well finals predictions for cash. So we are going to talk about those rules really quickly. That's really straightforward. If anybody has any questions, just let us know in comments if you watch this later. This is the video where you're going to do your submissions, in other words, your entries, or if you're going to have questions or put your teams and so forth, you're going to do them in the comment section of this video. So we're going to list out the rules, tell you about them. And then after that, I think we'll talk a little bit about some of the latest tennis news.
Right.
Okay. As always, thanks so much to Gene Swart in South Africa and Thomas Cheat in Canada, who created a program to score these games with. And as always, Gene, Thomas, we will always take care of you financially for doing such a great job as always. And as well, thanks so much to Ivor Savage, dear friend of ours of Carla and I's, who is currently in South Africa visiting family. And he has always been very much involved in these games since day one, 5 years ago. So much love to you, Ivor, and the whole YTech Strings team. He's the owner of the company. All right. Game number one. I'm going to start with the easiest one to play. Now, remember, you do not have to play both of these games. So listen up on why it's important to at least pick a fantasy team. If there's a tie, the fantasy team will break that tie. Okay, game number one. We are going to start 2023 with a $200 cash pot. All right. The first game that we're going to do is the finals predictions for the men's and women's side. All right. So if you can correctly predict the men's finalists, the women's finalists, and both winners, you will automatically win $200 cash. Okay. Do not make your selections until the draws come out because you don't want to pick two players that are on the same side of the draw, thus making it impossible to have them meet in the final. Now, last year entirely, no one selected both finalists and winners, all four majors, and we rolled the pot over every major. And when we got to the U.S. Open, the pot was $800, and we're going to do something similar this year, but we may not double it every time if no one hits it. But this year, Djokovic is back in business, right?
Yep,
Swiatek, yes, we know Swiatek just lost to Pegula, but take that with a grain of salt because before majors, Carla has a theory that ends up being true, that a player that wins a tournament the week before a major, they always end up losing in the first week. So I don't think it's much of a shell shocker that Swiatek lost that match to Pegula. We'll talk about that after the rules are listed. So all you have to do to play, it's totally free, is subscribe. If you're not subscribed, the payout won't come. So make sure if you are playing, you're subscribed, and it's free to do so. So game number one for $200 cash sent to you by means of PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, Western Union. We've done all the above, mail, personal check, whatever. Once the draws come out in the comment section of this video, you will put, obviously your screen name or username will come up, and you will put, hey, I select Djokovic to beat Medvedev and Djokovic winning, and I select Swiatek to beat Pegula with Swiatek winning. I'm just throwing that out there. As long as you hit all four of those, you will win that $200. Now, what happens if there's a tie? What happens if there's three or four of you that have picked that same final and multiple of you win? Well, we're going to talk about the second game, which is the fantasy team competition, and that score, in essence, would break any tie. So if three of you tie for the $200, then I'm going to go to the fantasy team, or we, Gene, Thomas, we're going to go to the fantasy team results and find out who had the highest score there, and that will break the tie. Okay? So you don't have to play both, but you might as well pencil whip something just in case you tie with somebody else. Okay? That's it for that game. Simple, straightforward. The submissions must be put in the comment section of this video so Gene Swart and Thomas Cheek can see them and keep track of them. And we do keep track of them as well. Okay? That's it for that. All right? Second game is the fantasy team selections. Now, pay attention to this. If you have any questions, just lay it down in comments. What's up, Sergeant Jovanovic? What's up, Van Lee? Good to hear from you. Ben Fricker, what's up, bro? Okay. Gene Swartz out there. There you go. Love to see Thomas G pop up. He didn't pop up till late last year.
Yeah.
Right? I think he's like college.
Who?
Thomas Cheese, and like
Yeah,
college studying.
he's college also.
Okay, and he has like a brother, and I think even a parent that plays the games as well. All right. So the fantasy teams work like this. You will select 9 men and 9 women on your fantasy teams. Okay, 9 men, 9 women. Out of those 9 women and 9 men, you can only have a maximum of 4 people, 4 men and 4 women seated. Pay attention to that word, seated. Only 4 men and 4 women per team are allowed to be seated within the top 20. Every match that those players win that are seated within the top 20 are worth 1 point per round that they win. 1 point. Okay. The 5 remaining players, that is, if you select your maximum of 4 seated in the top 20 players, must be outside of the top 20. Okay. Now you can have as many players you want outside of the top 20. You can even just choose 1 player or 0 players that are seated within the top 20, and have 8 players that are seated outside the top 20, because they are worth 2 points per match win. Now, the 9th player on each team, 1 on the men's side, 1 on the women's side, must be a wild card player, or a qualifier. Sorry, I was spaced on that.
You get a qualifier or a
wild card.
Yeah.
So on each team, again, you don't have to pick a maximum of 4 seated in the top 20. You can pick 1 or none, right? Some people do that. Some people pick all players seated outside the top 20 because they get an extra point per match win. But on both men's and women's side, you must have 1, and only you can pick as many as you want, but you must have 1 at least qualifier or wild card. Okay, it takes a little bit of studying to figure that out. If you're just pencil whipping something in case you need to break a tie for the $200, that's fine. But you must have 1 wild card or qualifier on each team. Okay, that person is worth 3 points per match win. Now, I hate to bring up Emma Raducanu. Who are you talking about? Who the hell is Emma Raducanu?
I just felt bad for her, seeing her cry in that last tournament she played. Ankle.
Yeah, something new. Anyway, Raducanu, I forgot who the heck that who is. Raducanu? I forgot who that is. But why I mentioned that is because if you would have picked her a couple years ago or 2 years ago when she won the U.S. Open as a qualifier, then you would have won a tremendous amount of points, because every match she won would have been worth 3 points. Okay. Gene Swart and Thomas Cheese score this. They have a program, and they keep up with it verbatim every round. When we get to the end of the 2-week tournament, after the finals, then we get all the scores and find out the top 2 people. Okay, so 2 people will win $50 US. Absolutely. So Carla and I play this game as well with you. We like to compete. That's in our nature. But let's say Carla and I won 1st and 2nd, and everyone else was 3rd and 4th. Then we would remove ourselves from that, talk a little smack about beating you guys. But the 3rd and 4th would end up winning, right? Carla and I generally don't beat you guys. You guys are experts for sure. So you must submit your teams on this video, okay, in the comment section. Now, I ask you nicely, hopefully, that you submit your teams and selections clearly, okay? So when Gene and Thomas get these teams and they see them in comments, a lot of times people will just put, Djokovic, Medvedev, and just put them in a big blob. Try to do it separated a bit. And I made an example on this sheet of paper, and I just kind of pencil whipped it out of the top of my head, okay? So I'm going to show it to you. So on this side, I have people that I just, kind of pencil whipped that were in the top 20. I had 1, 2, 3 of them. And then I came up with 5 players that are outside of the top 20, and then put a different space for my qualifier or wild card. Okay. So that way we can all get them written down and typed into their respective programs, and we can score them without, staying up all night as picks come in at the last minute. It's just easier for us to do it if you have them kind of separated. So I'm going to read out my examples. This is nothing truthful. The draws have not come out yet, but this is what I pencil whipped. On my men's side, this is just an example. I chose Djokovic, Holger Rune, and Stefano Tsitsipas as my 1-point players. Created a space, and I put my 5 men's players outside of the top 20 as Alex de Minaur, Nick Kyrgios, Borna Coric, Davidovich Fokina, and John Isner. I put a space there, and my wild card is Blake Shelton, the young American. Okay, I just chose that out of my head. That will definitely change for me once the draws come out, find out who these people are playing in that first round, right? On the women's side, pencil whip Iga Swiatek. I have 4 women that I pencil whipped in the top 20 or seated in the top 20. Iga Swiatek, Coco Gauff, Ons Jabeur, and Petra Kvitova. Space there. My ladies outside of the top 20. Rybakina, Azarenka, Pliskova, who shockingly is outside of the top 20, and Naomi Osaka if she plays. Now, we found out earlier that Naomi Osaka has pulled out. So, again, she was outside the top 20, so I just threw her in there, but she's not playing. And my unseeded player, or not unseeded, but my wild card or my qualifier would be Taylor Townsend. And, again, I just threw her in there. Probably wouldn't pick her in the first place, but she just came into my head, okay? Once the first ball is struck, once the very first ball is struck for this year's Australian Open, submissions will lock. Okay. No more submissions will be allowed. Okay. Now, what happens if there's a lucky loser? What happens if you picked Naomi Osaka and she pulled out 5 minutes before the tournament and not a long time before like she did? Okay. You will be stuck with that lucky loser unless you get it changed and let us know in the comment section here that you have changed it. I get notifications. Carla gets notifications. Thomas Chi and Gene Swart, who are moderators and part of this game and part of this channel from a business side, they will get those notifications. If they have not received the notification before that ball is struck in that match, you're stuck with the lucky loser. Now, if for some reason you're asleep and you live in Australia or you live in Asia or somewhere, we understand it. You might be in bed. Okay. You can still replace the player that you picked if they pulled out, as long as the player that you're replacing them with after the fact has not played yet. Okay. But after the first round is completed, there's nothing allowed. No entries, no changes. So just be privy of that. Okay. There are a lot of different strategies to playing this game, and we have seen over 5 years. This is the 21st major we have done this with. The majority of winners that win these competitions generally don't go too heavy on 1-point players. They generally don't pick too many people in that 1-point category of being seated inside the top 20. They generally go 2-point heavy, selecting players that are seated outside of the top 20 to get more points per round. But I've seen it work both ways, so be careful with that. And Carla's been sick, so hopefully she's okay. In the comment section, by the way, feel free to trash talk. We really like to get into situations where, like, yo, I'm playing you, and if as long as I got this match and you got that match, then the comments begin to be really fun because we're competing against you and you're competing against John Doe and so forth. So let the trash talk begin in the comment section for sure. Have I missed anything at this point?
No, I think you said.
Okay. Wait until the draws come out. You don't have to, but the problem is if you don't, then you run the risk of, in your finals predictions, predicting 2 finalists that are on the same side of the draw. So you would really not have a shot that way for the finals predictions. And wait for the draws to come out for the fantasy teams, because what happens if, say, Tsitsipas pulls Kyrgios in the first round? I don't think that would happen seedingly, but I'm just telling you. So think about it, and then put your selections in once the tournament has begun. Okay. Have I missed anything that you can think about?
No.
Okay. Repeat it one last time. Finals predictions. Be subscribed, or if you win the $200, it's not coming. It's free to play. Select both men's finalists that you will think that will make it to the final once the draws comes out. Both women's finalists that you think will make the final when the draws come out, and both winners. If you hit that, $200, no questions asked, coming straight to you. Fact. If there is a tie, just reiterating it, sorry to be redundant. If there is a tie, then we go to the fantasy teams, and whoever had the highest score there would get that spot. Okay. Remember one thing about seeding versus rankings. Okay. I wrote down an example. Rybakina, who won Wimbledon this past year, right?
Right.
She is ranked number 21 in the world.
And no one's talked about her.
No one's talked about her. However, what happens if
I even forgot she won.
Well, I didn't forget she won, but Rybakina could very well, though, come in seated in the tournament in the top 20, even though she's ranked 21 in the world. Some of the top 20 girls might not be playing, whatever, right? So be careful between selecting someone that's ranked 21 in the world, because they may come in seeded 18, 19 in the world. We ran into this a lot with Felix Auger-Aliassime the past couple of years.
Right.
He was always ranked number 21 in the world, so people jumped on him. But then the majors would come around and he would be in the major seeded at 18 or 19. And then people would think that Felix was getting 2 points per win, but he would really be getting 1. So be mindful of that. Also, this is the 5th year we have done this. Many of you out there have won multiple majors on our games. Okay. We're looking for the GOAT this year. This is the 5th year. We know we have Casper, aka Deceville in Poland. We have Thomas Chi. We have a lot of you that have won multiple majors. Okay. For our 5th year, we are going to designate a GOAT at the end of this year. So after the US Open 2023, whoever the person that has won the most majors will
No one won last year, though.
No, I mean the majors, not the finals predictions.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
The fantasy teams.
Oh.
I'm talking about for the 5 years that we've done this, the 20 plus majors, 21 here, we've had some of you that have won 3 times, some of you that have won 4 times, some of you that have won 2 times. We are going to kick out an extra prize at the end of this year for whoever has solidified the most majors doing these games on the fantasy teams. Okay, so if you want to compete against some of these goats, goats like Florence Chan painted in this no-lay picture, the GOAT, then make sure you play, because we're going to give out another random prize on top of that. All right, last thing. Ivor Savage, the owner, CEO of YTech Strings, personal friend, is going to be doing random give outs to subscribers in the comment section that make comments throughout the entire Australian Open. So be active in the comments, be active in the chat. There will be times where we'll pick a name, boom, pick it, and we're going to send you strings. We're going to send you apparel. We're going to send you vibration dampeners. We're going to send you grip bands. So be ready for that. Okay. Also, too, if you would rather have 5K tennis merchandise or Diadem rackets or YTech strings instead of your US dollar amount, then that's okay too. And we generally try to give out more value in prizes than we do cash if that's your selection. Okay, we had Matt Cann in London one year that won the cash giveaway, and he wanted the new racket, so we sent him a racket to London, and I haven't heard from him in a while. Hopefully he's okay. But we've done that before, right? I think that one year we did a $100 cash giveaway. He won it, and we said we would double that in tennis racket value. He decided to take the racket, so we sent him a racket. Okay. All right, that's it. Any questions, put it in comments. Let's start with just a little bit of tennis news, okay? Just a little bit. Emma Raducanu is out. Were any of you actually worried or even thinking that she would have caused any damage in the first place?
Wait, she's out of the Australian?
She's out of the Australian Open.
Where did you see that? No, I just saw that she pulled out of a tournament due to injury, not pulled out of the Australian Open.
Oh, I figured with it.
She still hasn't pulled out yet. I mean, she still officially hasn't pulled out.
Okay.
She was doubtful to play.
All right. Well, I particularly wouldn't think she would have won a round in the first place.
Michael Walker, look, Venus withdrew from the Australian Open. Like I said, what a waste of wild card. Why is she playing?
So is it in your opinion, in your professional opinion, is it your opinion that the Venus Williams pulling out was beneficial to the entire major as a whole? In other words, you bet we had made a bet that Venus Williams would not. You bet me that Venus Williams would not win her first round, no matter who it was, and I bet that she would. So you're telling me that because Venus has pulled out, it makes the tournament better?
No, it doesn't make it better. But what I'm saying is, stop wasting the wild cards on her. They gave it to her last year. They gave it to her this year.
What happened in her first round match last year?
I think she lost the first round.
Trivia question. Did Venus Williams lose her first round match last year? It's a great question. Carla was had some animosity against.
No, I don't have anything.
Not against her, but I think against the tournament.
Yeah, it's stupid. Give the opportunity to someone that maybe doesn't have that opportunity to travel as much and play, or maybe someone that was really, really good and still young enough to play in Grand Slams that can make a difference. Venus is done. She's washed up. She's done. Okay. She is worse than Serena. And Serena struggled.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Thoughts on that? Put it in comments. Naomi Osaka not playing. Is that a shocker to anyone?
I don't owe him money because I said Australian Open. We weren't talking about New Zealand. That's a small-ass tournament. It doesn't matter. We're talking about in a Grand Slam, Michael Walker.
Well, the bet wasn't money. It was wrapping. It was.
Yeah.
It was.
And that was the Australian Open, not New Zealand. So
yeah, she called Venus Williams for the past couple of years the walking mummy.
She is. She looks like one.
So the bet was if Venus Williams played, which she's not, but if she did and she won her first round match, then she would have to wrap toilet paper around herself and be a mummy for the whole show when we do that first round, post first round analysis. And then if she lost it, then I would have to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then G and I agree. Emma is so fragile. He says, so ridiculous. Do you guys think if she continues getting injured, will she retire earlier? Probably. That is telling you that maybe perhaps we need to add a little bit more muscle mass to your body. Maybe train a little bit more off court. She's still kind of developed as a junior girl. Her body's type of a junior girl, not quite a woman yet.
Breakable.
So she needs to train a lot more, I mean, unfortunately, it's the typical thing that happens to a lot of these British players. We saw it happen with, what's her name? The pretty blonde girl that made it far at Wimbledon. Guys, help me out. She made it to the quarterfinals last year at Wimbledon. She's had the same issue that she always gets injured. She was another up-and-coming promising British player. They expected her to be better than Konta, and that hasn't happened.
Speaking of Konta just kind of appeared.
No, she retired from tennis.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
She has a baby now.
Yeah.
I mean, but she was older. She was like in her 30s now. So.
All right, Naomi Osaka not playing.
Bolter, yes.
Katie Bolter, yeah. Good knowledge
it's
there.
like these.
Thank you, William
It's
Spencer.
like these British. Herbal tea. I'm sucking on a drop, but it's like these British players. The way they're developed is not very strong. It's just they're very. If you look at them, I'm not saying the guys. I'm talking about the women.
Breakable.
Very breakable. We need some meat. We need some muscles there.
All right, Naomi Osaka not playing for the third time. Is anyone shocked about that? Does anyone think that Naomi Osaka had it in the bag to compete into the second week of the Australian Open to win it? Given how much she's not played within the past year or so, or year and a half, the last time she played, wasn't it when she proclaimed she had mental health issues? Wasn't that the last time she played? Something like a year or two ago? Am I wrong?
I think I was looking at her Instagram, and her life is set. She's got all the money in the world, all the sponsors in the world. I mean, all the brands that she's wearing. I think you mentioned yesterday, there's no reason for Osaka to keep playing. Serena has put the standards so high in women's tennis.
Yeah.
She's at 4 slams. There's no way she's ever going to reach that.
Yeah.
And I remember some of you guys saying years ago, oh, she's the next Serena. She's going to pass her. She didn't even come close to Henin or Venus.
Yeah.
She's got all the money. They give these players too much exposure, too many sponsorship, too much money. Too soon.
Ask Raducanu.
And why do they have to fight to keep playing, to keep being the best? They don't have to.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't have to. The hunger is gone for her.
Yeah.
And therefore, will she win another slam? That's if she's hungry, and it doesn't look like it right now.
So correct me if I'm wrong. I really feel like there's a couple reasons why we push ourselves to be professional tennis players. A, to win a major, right? And then B is to be the one with the most majors, right?
Right.
So Osaka has won, not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 majors. And then she, went through her thing, and time passed, and she, she has a boyfriend, and she's got her, she's got her business.
She's 25, 26. You gotta have a boyfriend by that time.
So she's not the one and done person. She's won 4.
Yeah, she did good.
So now as a tennis professional, we get to the point where we can say we've won a major, not only 1 but 4.
Yeah.
And then we have to ask us, okay, what's the next step? Why do I need to keep doing this? Okay, I want to be the GOAT. I want to have the most majors, which Djokovic is trying to do now.
She's not going to be.
She's not going to get 24 majors.
Barty won 3 and retired.
She's had enough.
She had enough. So there's I don't see Osaka. It's a shame because I really like her as a player, not as what she represents, but as a player, I like her game.
Yep.
I like the fact that she was aggressive and she went for the first serve and the second serve. I didn't like the way she spoke, but I like the tennis package,
Mm-hmm.
I like her game style. And for me, it's sad not to see her play because I feel we need more women like her playing in the tour right now.
Yeah.
We need that power. It's like Bianca Andreescu, the fact that she got hurt. I like her tennis. I thought she was very good for tennis. And the fact that she hasn't been able to get back, it's just, I don't know. It just tells you a lot about women's tennis right now.
Now, Mike Walker with the knowledge drop, as always, mentions that she won 4 and made $55 million a year. Now think about that. Making, you're making cinco, you're making $55 million a year. I mean, why do you want to keep living the tumultuous and rough life of a traveling tennis professional?
Right.
If you've already won 4, you're not going to beat the 23 or 24 or whatever. Serena finished with 23, is that right?
Yeah.
Or tied, whatever. But think about that. If you can have your island and you can have your life and you can have, then why do you want to? And I think that's where we have to put Osaka. It's not that she hates the game. It's just like, what does she have left to prove? She's not going to beat Serena's record, and she's already set for life, her and her family and her entourage. So why do I want to keep beating myself up about it? Especially if I have mental stressful issues where I don't feel comfortable talking to the masses of people.
Right.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's shift gears to Simona Halep. Has anyone found any concrete information of where Simona Halep is in her endeavor of getting back to playing tournaments? Where is she? We know she's fighting her case of performance-enhancing drugs. Where is she in that? And is there any chance of her playing this Australian Open?
No chance of playing the Australian Open. As you know, in any case, in anything in life, when you're guilty, to proven innocent, it takes time.
Yeah, and it used to be innocent until proven guilty, but now it's you're guilty until you're proven innocent.
Right.
Good knowledge drop on that, Carla. Also, Naomi Osaka pulled out, which coincidentally allowed Daria Yastremska, another young lady who spent a year or 2 off of playing tennis after she was found guilty of using performance-enhancing drugs. So Halep is out, Osaka is out, and Yastremska jumps back in. Do any of you out there remember Daria Yastremska, the prodigy of Mouratoglou and what's his name, Sasha Vajin? Yastremska was a lights-out player. She got busted for performance-enhancing drugs. She came back and couldn't win a match. Does anyone think that Yastremska's career was positive because of performance-enhancing drugs and then not positive because she can't now risk getting caught again? Or do you think Yastremska has a chance to come into this tournament and prove to people that she is an elite tennis player?
There's a lot to prove for her. I know she was a good player, but she didn't really make noise. So I don't know.
Yastremska was solid there for a while.
Solid, but she
was running stuff.
She wasn't. What was her highest ranking? I mean, she really.
Was she top 20 in the world? Was Yastremska top 20? Maybe top 10? Was she? She was up there. Mike Walker surely has the answer for that. All right, Carlos Alcaraz out. Is anyone shocked about him being out, given the fact how big he plays, how much energy he puts into every shot? I wasn't.
Nope.
I think we talked about this before.
I think Wildlife sent me something. He said the curse of the U.S. Open is what he said. That's what he said. The curse of the U.S. Open. He plays so big. He uses so much energy. His tennis is very tiring to watch. And
yep.
When you play too much tennis, it happens. But he's young and he'll recover. But I don't think it would have made a difference at the Australian Open for Novak.
What are some things do you think that Carlos Alcaraz must do to create more longevity in his career?
Maybe not go for every shot that he goes for.
Exactly.
I mean, there are shots, yes, you might have made it, but that 2 out of 10, you know what I mean? 2 out of 10, you might win the point going for a shot that's impossible, putting you in a bad position for the next point.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole sliding on the hard court, shifting, the hard court is very unforgivable.
It's brutal.
Yeah, I don't know.
There are times.
Lessen the points up, be more aggressive.
Yeah, exactly. And also, to add a little bit of variety with
the almost after every point.
Yeah.
Conserve energy.
Add a little bit of variety there to slow the points down a little bit.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of times where Alcaraz has the court open. In other words, he's worked his opponent off the court, or they have worked him off the court. And let's say they've worked him off the court, and his opponent makes a really good cross-court shot, and it should be a winner. But instead of pausing and just stopping and conceding the point, saving energy,
the guy's going for it.
He runs for it. He goes after it. And when you're playing 3 out of 5 sets, let's just use the U.S. Open, for example, conservation of energy is everything, especially for longevity. So I think that Carlos Alcaraz needs to understand there's times where he is done in the point, and there's no need to go run after that ball and try to get a racket on it.
He played a lot last year, Michael Walker. He played a lot. And some of those points were ridiculous. The crowd goes, ooh, but at the same time, you're like, geez, the body.
Yeah.
One wrong step, one wrong slip. can be catastrophic.
Okay, now here's a poll question. Can you type this as a poll question? We have talked about doing these major shows for 5 years about players that are one and done. Okay, Wozniacki, give me another one and done. In the past 5 years, who's a one and done? Alcaraz could be one. Anyway, let's shorten the question up. Do you think Carlos Alcaraz is one and done? Do you think he wins another major? Think about that. Think about it. With the energy that he brings to every match, now he's injured. Can he change his game to add a little bit more variety, to be mindful of when it's time to concede the point, to conserve energy for the next point? Can he do that, or is he one and done? I personally feel he's one and done.
I don't think he's one and done. I disagree with you. I think
if Djokovic is around, he's one and done.
I think he's young, so he has time. I think I mentioned Michael Walker was in the last show. Pete Sampras won, and he had a rough 3 years, and then started winning slams.
Okay, Yin Hao Kur and Michael Walker. I just saw it in the chat. Yin Hao Kur and Michael Walker indicated, nope, he's here to stay. Nope, he's got plenty of time. He's not one and done. Okay, I'll tell you what. The first one of you two, Mike Walker, Yin Hao, love you both. The first one of you two that takes my $50 bet, okay? We're here for the long haul, right? So I'll take the either one of you that have $50. If Carlos Alcaraz ever wins another major, I'll pay you $50. If he does not, whenever he retires, and we'll still be here, tennis is our lives. We coach it. That's what we do, right? So we're not going anywhere. So if Carlos Alcaraz wins another major, first one that says I'm in, I'll pay you 50. If he doesn't, you pay me 50. Who wants to bet?
Man, that's a long time.
Michael Walker's in.
He's only like.
Got you, bro.
He's 19.
Michael Walker's in.
How many years are you gonna wait?
20. I'll be here. We've been coaching tennis for 23 years, and we're born into it. 43 years.
Wait, Michael Walker. Don't you and I have a bet about Osaka?
Take it, bro.
Don't we have a bet about Osaka? 5 years. What are we on, year 2?
Oh, and you know what? We made a bet a couple years ago.
I made a bet with Michael Walker about Osaka, I thought, not winning another slam.
Do you know the bet that we made? I forget who I made it with. I can go back and look.
It's Emma. Even better.
But we made a bet.
Even better.
We made a bet that I indicated, even though I'm not a huge fan, that Sabalenka, Aryna Sabalenka, who just won Adelaide, would win her next major before Naomi Osaka won her next major. That could actually happen now.
Nah. She won Adelaide.
Could Sabalenka win this tournament?
Adelaide. I have a rule against that.
But there's another tournament in between, though, so she can take that resting week.
No.
Carlos alluding to the fact players that win tournaments prior to majors never win the major.
Djokovic, Federer, Nadal, Steffi Graf, Agassi, players like that. Serena, no.
If Sabalenka wins this tournament, I'm gonna laugh at you guys. Laugh.
I'm gonna win that bet though. Emma Raducanu. Thank you for reminding me. I'm not even convinced Raducanu is going to win her first slam.
Exactly.
I'm gonna win that bet. How many more years we got, Michael Walker? Tell me, because it was a big chunk, I thought.
I don't know. So, okay, shifting to the men's side, Alcaraz, yes, we talked about that. Andy Murray. Is Andy Murray playing this Australian Open?
I think he is.
I haven't heard that he's not. I'm assuming he is. What are Andy Murray's chances? What are Andy Murray's chances of doing well this Australian Open? Don't forget that Andy Murray has played some epic matches at the Australian Open, finals against Djokovic, if I remember correctly. What type of chance does Andy Murray have this year at the Australian Open?
He'll reach a second round, third round, best.
Second week, you don't think?
Depends on who he gets.
I don't know. Dominic Thiem. Dominic Thiem had a rough year last year.
That's it.
Injuries
$50.
out.
We need to up that to 500.
For who?
That bet was $50. I should have said 500.
That's a lot of dough. On what bet? 500?
Raducanu.
To do what?
Win a slam.
Another one?
Yeah.
Oh, I will go. We'll beef that to 500. I'll take that. Raducanu is not winning another slam. Okay. How well does Andy Murray do in this Australian Open?
2 or 3 rounds, I think.
No second week?
No. His body won't allow it. He's no. Not with that type of injury.
In other words, he's kind of like the British women you were talking about.
We can go 100. Let's go $100, Mike Walker.
All right. So what are we setting ourselves up for?
Raducanu won't win another slam, so I got 4 years to go.
He's a good bettor, but I would bet against him. I would agree with that. We'll take it.
Yeah.
If Raducanu wins another slam,
we got 4 years left to go. So
yeah, she'll probably be in a wheelchair by then. All right.
Say that. It's mean.
Yeah, that's mean. I take that back. I'm sorry. I shot from the hip and that was wrong. Okay. Coco Gauff. What's Coco Gauff? What does Coco Gauff bring into the table this Australian Open?
She just won a tournament, I think. I don't know with her. I don't know.
Okay. Out of
To me, she's still not. I like Coco a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I think she needs something's missing, and I don't know what it is yet. But I don't know. I just don't see that firepower that I saw in a few other Grand Slam winners. But if someone like Rybakina can win a slam, then why not her?
Look, I have a little segment written here on dark horses for this Australian Open, and Rybakina is on that list.
You didn't even, you just remembered her. No one's talked about her. What has she done besides that? Haven't we heard much from her? Has she done anything lately?
Well, I feel like if you can win Wimbledon, that you should still be in the mix of whatever it is. I think she should still be in the discussion. If we're sitting here discussing,
she's one and done too. I mean,
okay, it's another one and done. Maybe not.
Yeah, I'm sorry. No.
Stefanos Tsitsipas. Are we tired of talking about Stefanos Tsitsipas? Is he going to bring a different level to the game that he hasn't brought before? Because if he doesn't, he will be none and done.
You know, personally, I don't like his antics, but I still believe that he could win a slam. I feel like he has the game to win a slam. He has a beautiful game, in my opinion. I don't understand mentally, it's mental for him. He needs to get rid of Papa in the box. Maybe have his family stay behind, not watch. But this guy has all the tools to win a slam. To me, I like his game better than Carlos Alcaraz. If I'm watching tennis, to me, it's more pleasing to watch Tsitsipas play with his style, volleys, the one-handed backhand, than watching Carlos Alcaraz play.
Well, if it's the one-handed backhand, then
Musetti. No, but it's not only that. The points that he comes up with when he charges, he's aggressive. He doesn't stay back there. If you notice, the guy, anytime he's placing his points, he's coming to the net, he's trying different things. But I think it's mental for him. I feel like he should win one. Like he deserves to win one.
He's had his chances.
Yeah.
He's definitely had his chances. Did he make an Australian Open final one year, or was it the semi? And he beat Federer.
He lost to Djokovic, I thought.
It was at the semi?
I don't know.
Because Tsitsipas beat Federer in like 4 sets one year at the Australian Open, didn't he? Mm-hmm. Was it the U.S. Open? I forget.
I don't know.
Either way. So, but anyway, that was a tired Federer, to say the least. Mm-hmm. Anyway, Nick Kyrgios. Nick Kyrgios, in my opinion, is the one Aussie besides De Minaur that has a chance. I think Kyrgios more so than De Minaur.
He lost to Novak.
That has a chance to win this Australian Open. How much faith do you have, or anyone in Australia, Cam Williams, where you at, bro? How many of you, especially Aussies out there, really feel like Nick Kyrgios can win this Australian Open? Look, I'll tell you one thing.
There's your chance.
I'll tell you one thing.
Sabalenka has a better chance.
I'll give you a fantasy team spoiler alert. Nick Kyrgios, I think, and I'm just shooting this from my head, so don't shoot me if I'm wrong. But I think Nick Kyrgios is ranked somewhere like 21 in the world or 22 in the world. If Nick Kyrgios comes into the tournament seeded outside of the top 20, I'm going to take him on my fantasy team because it's a 2-point per match win. He's got the serve to carry him into the
second week. That he'll repeat the performance he had at the U.S. Open.
Or Wimbledon?
At the U.S. Open.
U.S. Open, that's right.
No, he will not have the same. Or at Wimbledon, he will not repeat that. No.
Can he win it?
He was hungry at Wimbledon, and then Djokovic squashed his dreams, like squashed it, like you squash a cockroach.
A cockroach?
Yeah.
Is that how you say in Spanish, cockroach? She's like cockroach. She's like cockroach with an A in the middle.
And then at the U.S. Open, he was a bitch
cockroach.
to lose, beat Medvedev, and then bitched out.
Dang, cockroach.
So that's it. The hunger is gone. The hunger is not there anymore. He had the hunger. It's out now.
Isn't there like a song?
That's not happening at the Australian Open. It's just not. I'm sorry.
Don't count your chickens, Carla. Don't count your chickens.
I know that. No way.
Mike Walker, what are the betting odds as of now of Kyrgios winning the Australian Open? Was it like plus 600, plus 800?
What are the betting odds? The guy has to be hungry. The guy has to have a reason to win. It's done. That reason is done. He had his chance.
He's from Australia. That's not a reason not to win.
He's not going to do well on his turf.
Who was the last Australian to win the Australian Open on the men's side? Hewitt never won it. Did Patrick Rafter ever win it?
No.
So who was the last Aussie man to win it? It wasn't Rod Laver, was it? Was it Laver? Because Rafter, I don't think won it. He won 2 U.S.
The last
Opens.
woman was Barty. Didn't she win hers?
Barty? Yeah. No, I don't know. I don't think Barty ever did.
I thought she did. Did she win?
Good poll question.
Rod Laver.
Rod Laver was the last man, hence why the stadium's named after. So you've had Patrick Rafter come through the
Barty, thank you. Barty.
Good call. She has to be proud of that. Maybe kind of spawning her retirement as her. As long as I think Barty, once she won the Australian Open, was something like, okay, I can't catch Serena, but
I don't think she was even thinking about Serena. She's not that type of player because it was her second retirement.
Yeah.
I don't think that. I think that she was pleased with what she did and not expect to win that many slams in the different turfs. And, someone mentioned that it's time for Venus, if she wants to have a family, to start thinking about that. We as women, we get older and it gets harder to have kids. And it sucks being alone.
She wasn't she hooked up with Riley Opelka?
Man, that's a little boy.
He's a tall boy.
But let's be in reality in life. 20-year difference is a big difference. You're getting older. You want to do different things. That 20-something-year-old is not going to want to do the same things when you're 60 and he's 40.
Okay, so let's put this into perspective. So you're saying that if you're, say, a 30-year-old woman and you marry a 50-year-old man, that after a while it just can't work because the 40-year-old woman now with the 60-year-old man is like, fuck this shit.
You better love that guy a lot. He better stay sexy as hell. Ooh. I'm just saying. And for women, it's even worse.
So and
for women, it's even worse.
That's pretty deep.
It is deep.
It's pretty deep.
I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sure Barty was thinking, I want to have a family. I want to enjoy life. I don't, it sucks being alone. Maybe there are people that are alone out there, but it sucks as you get older. It's just tough. It's tough.
Okay, so so anyone out there, I call bull on this.
Come on,
does anyone?
Do you tell me right now if you are 45? Let's pick someone 20 years younger than you. When you're 25. 65, do you think that lady that's in her 40s, supposedly 40-year-olds, they're in that stage of where they get frisky and stuff, supposedly.
And I'm like on my cane trying to get to the door.
Man. Come on, no.
Yeah, that's a tough scenario. Does anyone agree with Carla? Does anyone agree with Carla that the majority, there's always exceptions to the rule?
Pregnant, good for her. You want to start a family. I mean, you made your money and stuff, and now you want to enjoy life. I mean, I'm just saying.
So a poll on this. The majority.
It rarely happens where it lasts.
The majority of people that marry later in life, and we're bringing this up in reference to Riley Opelka and Venus Williams. Are you telling me that the majority of marriages that happen where someone is 30 and someone's approaching 50, that they never work for the most part?
It is a very rare case. Rare case. It happens, but it's in a low percentage. Just like high school sweethearts lasting, getting married, and it's low. It's in that category.
So the older one needs to be a billionaire for it to work.
No, or stay sexy as hell.
Okay.
Stay young. There are 60-year-old men that I see out there, and like you see them in videos
that are hot,
that are good looking.
They look like a couple.
Well, you got Tom Cruise. I mean, he's still hot.
Okay, all right, he's a little short.
You got Brad Pitt. He's fine as hell.
Smoker.
But he's fine as hell.
But they're short as hell.
They gotta be fun. They gotta stay, young with that woman. Or opposite, it's very hard for a woman to stay very young for that guy.
So now, for me, in retrospect, let's say I'm a 30-year-old and I'm looking for that 20-year-old woman.
What are we even talking about?
Let me get it. Let me pick a woman that's 20 years older than me that I think's hot. How about Salma Hayek?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, how about?
But there has to be.
How about Eva Mendes?
That she is your age, Justin.
Oh, okay.
Come on.
Just wishing.
I'm just saying, Carla loves her. No, what I'm saying, guys, I'm saying in general, in life. I'm talking about life. Think about it, man. Those of us that are in a relationship. My grandfather was like 8 years or 10 years older than my grandmother. That's 10 years. That's not a lot. At 20 years, holy shit, you graduated college and that person's in kindergarten?
The thing for me is I always look at it, if there's a 20-year age
difference. Think about that. You are 20.
And then you're an infant.
I mean, come on.
It's like I was out there robbing the cradle, like when you were born.
There's nothing wrong with that. If it works for you, great. But what I'm saying is that person has to have the same energy. As a woman, it's even tougher. Reverse that.
Or a heavy.
Oh, you better be rich.
Or a heavy bank account.
Yes.
We just watched this movie the other night called The Green Onion or something.
That was funny.
Right? And like everyone was attached to this dude because he was a billionaire. Anyway, it all came crashing down. But yes, I agree with you. It would be really difficult for me personally if you were 20 years older and I'm like 50 and you're like 70 and I'm still like, hey, babe, you got to dress up. It'd be tough.
I mean, it's great the first 10 years. When you start getting older, you realize it.
The novelty wears off. Anyway, interesting thought process, Carla. Great topic.
Yes.
Okay.
Let's go to cooler alert.
Let's go. I agree.
I mean, I would not want to be in that position dating someone 20
Hey,
years,
look.
years younger, or even 10 years younger than
Hey,
me. First of all, I never liked guys that were younger than me. That's number one. I never, even as a kid, I always looked a little bit 4 or 5 years. Never like someone younger than me.
I love Ryan Mason's comment. He says, I would take Selma Hayek to Olive Garden.
And I said,
that shit funny.
You would get dumped.
Yeah, you don't take her to Olive Garden. She'll call a damn limousine to pick her up. You got to do better than Olive Garden right there.
Who's Mark Edmondson? Is that a doubles player? I don't know who that is. Someone's gonna have to school me on that one.
I don't know. Yeah, no, I don't know.
Old women plus young guys never works out for more than a few months. Exactly. It just doesn't. It doesn't work out. So Venus, maybe it's time for her to start thinking about, hey, I'm maybe my sister is married, and I'm the older one, and I don't want to be alone. And I'm not saying have kids. Some people don't have kids. You don't have to have kids.
I don't know. I don't know many young ladies that I want to have a child.
There's some people never have kids. We've seen so many stories. They love each other. They die at old age and never had kids,
So I want to throw Alpha's comment out there before it goes away because the chat's on fire. Thank you. Sebastian Korda played well today. He should be proud of his effort. No one will want to face him in early Australian Open rounds. Let's talk about that for a moment.
I hope he does well.
So Sebastian Korda had a match point over Novak Djokovic. Novak pulled it out in 3 sets. Great win by Novak. Now, again, I'm totally pulling for Novak this Australian Open, as you know I always do. But I do want to once again mention the lack of sportsmanship on the sideline once again from Novak. I love him, fan. Otherwise, he wouldn't be on the wall. I love this fight. I love the fact that he's been isolated because of his beliefs or where he's from. And a lot of us forget about the whole Serbian influence where the West doesn't particularly care for it because of their more ties to the East. And in tennis, we're supposed to leave that shit out. And we're supposed to look at our game and the way we play and how much fight we have. So when I think about Novak, I always leave it out because I love the guy. I don't wrap politics into tennis. But Novak, during that match, kicked his own brother out of his box. Mm-hmm. Right. And look, I must admit, I didn't watch the match, but I caught the highlights. And then I don't think there's ever a time, though, I would kick my own. I was going to say sister. She passed away, and no need to bring that up. And her anniversary of passing away comes up on January the 13th, 1-year anniversary. But there would never be a time, no matter how much discourse I had with my own sister, where I would kick her out of my box. He did that. Your thoughts on that? Is that a problem? I mean, I think you should kick Goran out, or maybe your dad out, but not your brother. Don't kick your brother out. He still won the match, but it was just kind of an.
So you could kick out your parents,
but
you can't kick out your brother.
But it's different.
How is that different?
It's different because your parents spend every waking hour with you, and every day they created you, and you know how look if you're in
me kicking out my dad was not a problem.
I've seen you kick your dad out.
That's
before.
what I'm saying.
I've seen you kick out your dad before.
So me kicking out my dad wasn't a problem for you.
No, it made me feel uncomfortable. So we were okay.
Oh
let's say what happened. We were at a tournament. This was in 2010 or 11. 11. Carla was playing doubles with somebody, and
Sonia.
Okay, Sonia. Yes. Okay, so you guys were down at the beginning, just lightly. We
lost the first set.
Okay, you lost the first set. So her dad, and she was 30 years old. And, we had kids, and he's over there like, getting pissed off. Whatever. Broke my racket, by the way. Anyway. And then Carl looks over to us, and I didn't say anything. She's like, get out. And anyway, they came back, and you and Sonia won the match with ease.
Yeah.
But you threw your dad out.
I did.
But
so therefore,
it's easier to do that than it is your own brother.
Therefore, I can't be a hypocrite and say that Novak did bad. Yes, it's bad. What I did was bad. Okay? Because if my kid would do that to me.
But you wouldn't have done that to your brother.
If I could do it to my dad, I could definitely do it to my brother.
I don't know. I see it differently.
My dad's the one that gave me life.
But you and your brother were the one that weathered the storms of the parents.
Sure. But what I'm saying is I can't be a hypocrite. That's bad. What I did was bad. What Novak did is bad. You don't kick out your family. One.
You did.
That's what I'm saying. It's bad. I'm saying it's bad. What I did was bad.
Yeah.
But you don't see that too.
Oh, true. But
okay.
My dad's going to watch this. He knows. He knows.
But to me, that's not the problem with Novak. Is I feel like he has an anger issue. He has an anger issue, and I can't imagine being his wife dealing with that freaking temper. But then sometimes you can be kind of like Novak as well.
I can be.
Sometimes,
How so?
I'm just saying, maybe guys get that way. I don't know.
sometimes there's certain things that get to my core and I can't control.
Well, maybe
my temper.
something got to his core. Maybe they were talking or trying to, like, baby him, and he didn't like that, and he's telling them, shut up. You don't know what was happening there.
No.
You know how sometimes your camp can be annoying. They're watching a match. They could be annoying. Maybe saying things. You don't know in that moment when he was playing. He was obviously losing when he kicked him out.
I think it would be hardest to be in Nick Kyrgios's box because Nick Kyrgios will kick you out of the player's box if you're cheering too much or if you're cheering too little. So if you're in Kyrgios's box, you have to figure out how much is too much and how much is too little. Didn't at Wimbledon, he told his whole box to get lost because they weren't cheering enough. And then I think the round before, he was telling them to get lost because they cheered too much.
That's another dude I couldn't deal with.
So,
See, Novak is a great player, but I couldn't deal with that type of man.
Well, what about Tsitsipas?
I would squash him.
That wax dad with his racket.
I'd squash him.
So
too.
Tsitsipas wax dudes with his rackets. Kyrgios
I'd
says,
slap Rune, squash Novak, squash
there you go.
And someone mentioned Korda's so slow. He reminds me of somebody that we know. The way he walks so slow, but maybe that's just tall guys. They walk slow.
My problem with Sebastian Korda isn't his game.
It's kind of boring.
My problem with Sebastian Korda is he wears this damn headband, girly type headband, and his hair doesn't even come in his face. So I have super long hair down to my back, so I leave it in a ball. But Sebastian Korda's hair is only about this long, and he puts this stupid.
But maybe his hair gets in his face, and that's why he does it.
It looks cheesy.
Then he should wear a hat like little guy. I don't know.
It looks dumb. I mean,
yeah, Novak seems agitated. Ben Frigga says Novak seems agitated throughout the match, but seeing him win brought me down to tears, happy tears.
Let's go, Ben Freaker. Exactly, bro. Comment of the day right there.
Yeah.
Let's go, Nole. Let's go, Forrest Chan.
Van Lee said Korda's like 1980s Jock from Saved by the Bell.
Yeah. Oh, damn. Can you read that again?
Korda's like 1980s Jock from Saved by the Bell.
Great comment, Van Lee. Exactly.
I'm sure that Yelena
he looks like Zach, the guy Zach.
He didn't say Zach. He said Jock.
Zach Morris. Wasn't that his name? Zach Morris in Saved by the Bell?
Jock.
He looks like.
He said Jock.
Who the hell is Jock?
Thank you.
I think he means Zach. Zach was the blind.
You mean Zach?
Zach was.
Trouble Mind says for sure Yelena is the boss at home. She keeps him in check. I'm sure she does. I'm sure she's spicy. You have to be. With that type of guy, yelling. He's this little lean guy. He's not little. You know what I mean. He's a lean guy. And he's got a lot of bars. He's got a lot of bars.
So you're telling me that Helena is like you. She doesn't put up with my shit.
Exactly.
Okay.
These lean guys, they got a lot of bark, so you got to check them.
Oh, I got some bite.
And
I got some damn bite.
I got bite too.
Yeah. I broke my arm twice last year because
I'm a Leo, so I got more bite.
Shit. I don't know. I got a Scorpio. I'll snatch you up and hit you with some poison.
Oh man. Anyways.
Sneak attack.
Yeah. Did you see Yelena Ostapenko lately? No. What's going on with her?
Pillsbury Doughboy, or she lost weight? Every time I see Helena Ostapenko, she looks more and more like the Goodyear blimp. Is she still blimpy? Or
Ostapenko.
Oh. Yeah. Now
Brian's the teddy bear.
Yeah.
He said that's why I stopped being lean.
Yeah.
So he doesn't bark a lot.
Oh.
He just says yes, man.
Oh, Darius is out there?
No, they're Ryan.
Oh, okay.
I'm like,
no, I'm curious. The Ostapenko comment there. I'm curious, how does she look? Look, Ostapenko, after winning the French Open, turned into the Michelin Man. She turned into a marshmallow. Is she still marshmallow-ish, or is she got bigger? Like, where's she at?
I don't know. Talking about these guys, someone mentioned here, Mirka's more like the boss of Federer because she was a player. I think those guys, they all been with the same ladies since before they became who they are now. Andy Murray, Novak, Nadal, Federer, they all were with the same ladies before they became who they are. They weathered the storm with them. So they have mad respect for those ladies.
And they got a lot of skeletons in the closet that they can roll out.
Those women have been there they've watched them transform all those years. Battle, cry, be happy, everything.
And they got skeletons in bags that they can release in case they,
I don't think they have that many skeletons.
Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Women, I don't care. I don't care how long you know these women, how dedicated you are to them or not. The day that you really cross them, i.e. cheat on them, i.e. do some craziness, they will fry you. So you always got to, a woman that's been around you your whole life, you got to be damn careful because they will smoke you like a joint if you mess up. And I think that's why you can say that these guys could go.
I don't know who Andrew Tate is. Carla and Jay, quick thoughts on Andrew Tate.
Andrew Tate. I don't.
No clue.
That's new. I haven't heard that one.
Mm-hmm. No, I don't know who's that. Who is that?
Yeah, elaborate. Andrew Tate.
No idea. What about Martina Navratilova? We haven't talked about her.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Not comical at all.
No.
A joke's all aside at this point.
No, we just saw Chris Evert battling breast cancer.
Yes. So two players that Carla and I grew up watching courtside, been to multiple of their tournaments in person, is Chris Evert and Martina Navratilova. Now we've talked about Chris Evert fighting through chemotherapy and cancer, and I hate to even talk about that because I think about my sister. Anyway, it's a rough thing. But Martina Navratilova has been diagnosed with throat and breast cancer. Is that it? Throat and breast. So
they found the throat, and then by accident
it traveled to the breast, or vice versa.
No, by accident they found the breast too.
So look, in my mind, and this is just my opinion, I have a list of 5 women that are the best of all time. In no particular order: Steffi Graf, Martina Navratilova, Justine Henin. As much as I don't care for her defensive game, Chris Evert, and Serena Williams. Those 5. And I'm sure you can, argue that. Oh, well, what about this one? But just for me, is someone that was born into the game. My father was born into the game. He's 84. It was part of our life on the breakfast table since I was born. Those are the 5 women that have been a cornerstone of the game, right? And 2 of those 5 are battling cancer. And I think at this point, more unknown. I think Chris Evert is doing her best to kind of get into remission, but Navratilova is still very much in the unknown.
Yeah.
Wish the best of luck to Martina. She arguably is the GOAT for sure. There's no doubt about that. We talk about Serena.
She's a strong lady, so I know she'll be a fighter.
Yeah, we talk about Serena and her accomplishments, but correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm shooting this from the hip. Michael Walker can correct me; he's the statistician. But Martina Navratilova, I think if you compile mixed doubles, doubles, and singles, she by far outweighs anyone in major totals. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think by like 10 or 20-fold, right?
Yeah.
Am I right or wrong?
I think so. You're right. Yeah, we try to watch the documentary of Meghan and Harry.
Markle, yeah. Prince.
I watched a bit of it, their love story and stuff. Look, I obviously they weren't happy that he married out of, she's mixed.
Out of that bloodline.
Yeah, so they weren't happy about
that. Which is bullshit.
I disagree with you. I don't know. Michael mentions he doesn't.
How do you? Like, how would you
like bullshit that they're mad at him, or which one are you saying that you agree with me? I don't think there's anything.
I don't think it matters what damn bloodline you have or where you come from.
Thank you. Okay.
If you like someone, like when I saw you, did I?
No. Okay.
When I met Carla, shit you not. When I met Carla, I said, this girl, I'm gonna go over to her. I'm gonna kiss her. I'm not even gonna say a word. I went right over to her. I didn't even say hello. Bam, gave it to you. And what happened? Here we are.
Well, he was saying that
he did the same thing. So
he was saying that I guess Meghan is treating the dad bad. I don't know anything about that. So I stopped watching from there. I don't know anything more than that. They got beautiful kids. Will it last? Hopefully for them.
Yeah,
that's his deal. I don't know.
Yeah, give a rat's ass. If there's someone that
in reality, if you look at I remember when they were little kids, Harry and you watched his brother.
Yeah,
I thought the brother was better looking, but now he's got like that bold ass spot right there. Nah.
Yeah. Well, love is an interesting thing.
He looks boring. He looks like his dad, boring.
There was 1 million people trying to tear you and me apart when we met. 1 million people.
Yeah.
No way. This isn't going to work. And how much did we listen to them, Carla? 0.
Yeah.
Here we are. 15 years later, 5 kids, whatever. And, here we are. We didn't listen to nobody. And so I respect the fact that, and I don't care about all the truth and but if a man and woman, regardless of where they come from, how big, small, culture, creed, religion, race, whatever, if they're feeling it, man, support them, right? Mm-hmm. Support them for sure. And anyway, I don't know why we got on this subject about the royal family, but look, I'm all for any relationship where 2 people are willing to give everything up to prosper in their own right. Now, I will think it's
They shouldn't
quite,
talk about it. They shouldn't talk about it. Yeah, I mean, Trump might say it's exaggerated with the Megan stuff, like too much wokeness. Just shut up and live your life.
agree with that.
I agree with that. Just live your life and that's it. Don't even
and then
spill any tea, like they say. You know?
And then also you do have to know that these Netflix documentaries and these books that they're releasing and they're snitching on this person, it's for money. So I don't think we ever got into that position.
Well, we're not superstars, so
yeah, I mean,
be real. Who's gonna want to listen to our story?
We had to tell family members and we had to tell friends and so forth that we just met and now we're getting married and we already have a child coming. We had to tell them that they're crazy and shut up. But we didn't write a book and say, you did this when you were. We didn't throw them under the bus. We just ignored it and moved forward, right?
Yeah.
So I think they should do the same thing. But anyway, I don't.
Kate is beautiful, but William looks boring, like dad. Anyways, Elo Noir says coaching from the sideline. Which player will it help or no change? I think it'll help the women more because it seems like the female players always have to look up at their box. It's crazy. I don't like it. I'm not for it at all.
By the way, Eleanor, what's up? It's great to see you here. She has been a very, very, very staunch supporter. Great to see you, and hopefully you are well. Anyway, lost my train of thought.
About the whole coaching from the sidelines.
Oh, yes. So are they allowing that? Are they allowing coaching on the sidelines for this major?
I don't know. Hey, Mom. Hope you're feeling better.
Oh, what's up, Mom?
I don't know if they're allowing. Someone can say that. Someone can tell us. Michael Walker says it will help everyone because they all coach. Yeah, for me, it's annoying. I wouldn't want someone showing me sign and telling me what to do. I like thinking for myself. I don't even do it to my kids. I don't tell them anything. I just let them solve it. That's the whole point of playing tennis. That's the beautiful thing about tennis. It's a one-on-one sport.
Mental.
It's all mental. Who's the best up there?
Does anyone remember the U.S. Open where Serena and Osaka were playing, and it was this awful ending because Serena got deducted or whatever it was for coaching on the sidelines, and here we are accepting it? It's like, what have we come to? It was a big debacle at that U.S. Open. Patrick Mouratoglou was supposedly shooting signs, not gang signs, but tennis signs, and it ended up in tears at the very end. You remember this?
Yeah.
How can you forget? It was worse than the Kim Kleister Serena experience, right? So here we are, and it's allowed, it's accepted. So are we hypocritical now?
I don't know. They owe her an apology.
Hey, and by the way, in comments, my mom out there, you see her name is Anna Davis. She's really sick, and
it was 4 years ago.
And my mom is 75 years young, and she was the tennis mom that took us to all our junior tournaments and paid for all of our lessons and coaches and multiple coaches across multiple coastlines, East Coast Virginia Beach, West Coast Florida, and West Coast California, and in between. Put a number 1 in comment, 1111, to wish her. Hopefully she gets well. 1 in comment. She's super sick. She called me this morning. She sounded like hell. Put 1s in comments and wish her well. Let's go. 1's for Mom. Put me a 1 right there. 1, enter. There you go. Boom. Let's go, Mom. Tennis mom for sure, and a soldier for sure. Been through it on many different levels. Okay.
Sure.
All right. Enough of that. Will coaching on the sidelines, if it's allowed, will that help?
Well, Michael Walker's right. It's been done. I mean, we see Sissy Pass all the time and other coaches and blah, blah, blah do it. I just don't like it. For me, it would bother me. It just would bother me. I can't have someone talking to me or showing me signs or like trying to tell me something. I just can't, Mm-hmm.
Okay. I was writing a note so I can remember.
Okay.
All right. By the way, for the past 5 years, Carl and I have done, when a major starts, we do a live show every single day. Round 1 halfway through, round 1 takes 2 days. Round 2 takes 2 days. Then when we get into the second week, you have rounds in 1 day. So because our work schedule has changed a lot, I just want to say we may not be able to do it every single day, but we will definitely, especially the first week, make sure we do a recap of every round 1 and every round 2. So instead of doing it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we teach from 8 in the morning until 8:30, 9 o'clock at night in Mobile, and we have to drive an hour to get home. So sometimes on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we leave here at 7 in the morning and we don't get home until 9, 10 o'clock at night. On those days, we may not be able to do that. daily. We have a king and queen of the court clinic that we do. That's an 18-person clinic. So her and I have an 18 players, and we do that on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So on those days, it's going to be really tough for us to get home, and we really enjoy what we do. It's really a passion of ours. I tell Carla, if it rains or we have to take a day off because we're sick or something, I'm miserable. I would much rather be doing tennis than I would be to sit here. So apologies in advance if this major, we don't do it every single day, 14 days in a row. We have done for the past 5 years. There might be a few days in between that you will see us quiet, only because we're busy at the wonderful Mirror Lake Racket Club in Mobile. We enjoy being there. It's a blessing. But there may be some days where we don't do a show, as we have done for the past 5 years, simply because we're working. Hopefully you understand that. It's not something we're happy about in a sense, because we love coming here and chatting with you after all these years, family for sure. But there may be a day or two in between that you won't see us live, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, we're taking over the practice for one of the private schools.
Yes.
And then I have quite a few group lessons that I picked up at night, not really night, but closer to the night. And then we do the king, queen, and so yeah, it's really busy.
Yeah, and we work with some of the local schools. We worked with one, but we kind of deviated from that path, and then we got brought into another one. So the game is really important to us, and then kids are extremely important to us. So I feel like that our priorities are to put more focus on this upcoming endeavor with a local, not local to here, but in Mobile, a JV team that wants some help in doubles. So we put our eggs in that basket for sure. So if there's a day or two that goes by and you haven't seen us, don't think anything's happened. We're grinding on the courts, right?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. We're definitely. Well, I mean, we're gonna try to do the shows. Michael Walker was asking if we moved, and I said no, we're here for
Same
now.
spot,
but with, whatever, who knows with our lives. But he asked about rent went up. Yeah, it went way up.
Yeah, it went up.
But everything's up. Like today, we went to Walmart in Mississippi, and we looked at the
freaking
eggs.
dozen eggs for $8.
I could not believe that eggs were $8.
Nightmare.
I'm like, what?
The bag of dog food. We're a pet family. We have 2 American bullies, big dogs, and 1 cat that we found under the ice machine at the club where we represent. And we usually get this big bag of dog food, and we don't buy our dogs crappy food. We get the nice food anyway. But the bag of dog food used to be like $32. Now it's like $52. We eat a lot of eggs. Anyway.
That's like my breakfast. And now I was looking at it, 1 dozen eggs.
$8.
$8.
We used to pay 98 cents for eggs.
No, it got up to like 2 something. But wow,
yeah.
$8 is a big chunk.
Yeah, and by the way, Carla and I have never gone up on our prices as tennis coaches for like 7 years. We were the same price here as we teach now in Mobile, never changed it. But this past January, we had to go up $5 because gas money was, has tripled. The eggs have tripled. Tennis balls. We used to buy a case of tennis balls.
Get off the like.
We used to buy a case of tennis balls for $60, 24 cans, and now it's 90 plus shipping.
I went up, but then I saw that everybody else was going up. After I did it, I saw Mobile Tennis Center went up $60 for private lessons.
Yeah, we're less than that.
Yeah, we're less than that for non-members, but we're even less for that for members. But I had to, and everybody was.
And there's 2 of us.
And everybody, no, we don't teach together anymore. Not that much.
Sometimes.
Very rare.
Well, for the doubles.
We just can't. For that we will, but not for, we rarely do that.
Yeah. But yeah, life is changing economically for sure. Try to remember one thing, and I've said this a trillion times. And Plato, the philosopher from the 1,000 years ago or better, Plato.
No, for an hour.
Yeah, Plato would say, "Be kind, because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle." I can assure you that still holds true to this very day. Life is tough out there. Everything is raising in cost. Everybody is quicker to hate on you. Everybody is quicker to troll you. Ignore it. Just grind through it, and just remember, shut up and be kind, because everyone you meet is fighting a tough battle. And if you think everybody is not fighting a tough battle and it's just you, you're dead wrong. People are eager to just kill you, shoot you. They're not even asking questions anymore. They're not fist fighting you. They're to the point where now they're tired of it. And just be careful out there. Be kind no matter what happens. Be kind. and remember that everyone is
Yeah,
fighting
but there's
tough
times where
battles.
you have to say what you feel too. Otherwise, you explode and then you do what people do.
Be careful of saying how you feel, because that person that you're telling that to, they very well explode on you.
True. Michael Walker said, I'm going to win the Mega Millions on Tuesday. I had a dream. You like my grandma. She has a dream about
Martin Luther King, let's go.
She has dreams about numbers, and she actually does win the lotto, by the way. She's bought a couple houses in Honduras like that.
Well,
but also don't be naive.
True.
Yes.
If you win $1 billion, which I heard the Mega Millions is getting towards $1 billion, do us a favor, bro. Throw us a cool meal each. We'll be straight. Okay, cool.
That'll be good. $1 million.
Just throw us a meal. We'll be all right. All right, we're gonna go. All right, we will see you guys soon. We'll do another show or two before the Australian Open begins. Don't forget that if you are playing the fantasy team competition.
Oh, Stefan, you're late, bro.
Nizovic, what's up? I will still dunk on you to this day. Still dunk on you.
Thank you for Putin for shutting off the gas.
Yeah.
Wait, didn't you mention that Serbia gave
Putin the Medal of Honor? So look, I won't get into geopolitics here, but I was raised in a military family and I follow it all the time. That's an interesting discussion for another day. At one point, I tried to do a video on that, and it started getting a bunch of bad comments, so I just deleted it. Anyway, we wish everybody well, and that whole Ukraine-Russia thing, I'm too dumb to figure that out, but I think there's good arguments on either side. I think that there is a mindset in one area of the world, and I think there's a mindset in a different area of the world, and both of which have great arguments on why it's right and wrong, and that's why there's a front line of contact in war. But there's nothing new about warfare. We've been fighting wars for thousands of years, and until we figure out as human beings how we can get together as one whole, then we're always going to have to worry about getting blown up by nuclear weapons, unfortunately. But there are sides of the eastern side and there are sides of the western side that both make perfect sense. And then I just hope there's some way in time that we as human beings can realize that we can find middle ground.
Yeah.
Fair enough?
Yeah.
All right, let's go. We'll see you soon. And don't forget this video only, in the comment section. If you are playing the fantasy teams or you are playing for the $200 cash giveaway, you must put your submissions in this comment section. If not, they won't be accepted. It is free to play. Just subscribe. No questions asked. And it's free to hit the subscribe button. Turn your notifications off if you don't want to get bugged by our cat videos or something. Anyway, but it's free to play, and we will see you guys soon. And I can't wait for round 1 of the Australian Open to begin.
Adios.
Okay? Peace out.
It'll be very hard to predict the women.
If anybody does it, you're going to get paid. All right? Adios.